connection. So sometimes if you keep working with a database connection, making connection with a server, MySQL server, and you've done some work, so always try to close the connection when you're done, right? Either connection will close automatically when the complete script will be executed. So if you're using object-oriented MySQLi, what is the command to what is the script? Call this method, right? Close method. Using procedural, you have to write MySQLi underscore close con. Using PDO, what you have to use? Con equal to null, right? So I have created a connection here. What should be my last action? Con equal to null. In case of PDO?
Yes.
In case of object oriented, what I should do? Con. What I should do?
Close.
Close. There is a close function, right? There is a close function now.
Yes.
And in case of procedural, MySQLi close, then connection parameter. MySQLi close what? This,
Con.
right? But we are not going to use these all three files for the closing connection. We are going to use for the creating connection, right? So let me comment this. I am not going to close because I have to use this file somewhere. Okay guys? So next thing, the first thing we are going to do, create a MySQL database through your PHP script. So first thing is the common thing here, making connection.
Yes.
Our main task is starting from here. I have a SQL statement, then I am running a query, and if running after query it's returning true, then my database is created successfully. Either some error, maybe I'm the user who is creating this database as a root, or maybe different user creating the database have no privilege to create the database. Got my point, guys?
No, sir. Once explain.
No problem, guys. I'm here to help you. You see, there are lots of users here. User accounts.
Yes, sir.
On this server, how many users are there? Drupal, MAM, MySQL session, OpenEMR, root, and they have different nomenclature is there. This is root is known. This is also known as this. All three things are same, and username is the same. So suppose user account. There is no. I have no access to create account. So can you see your PHP admin? Is there a user accounts add user option is there or not?
Sir, no sir, there is no user accounts.
No user accounts, okay. Suppose this is the my user, right? Drupal, right? And
Yes.
this user has what are the permissions they have? They have permissions like select, insert, update, delete, structure, create, right? Alter, so create routine, alter routine, create event, trigger, grant, super, process, load, shutdown, show databases, log, reference, replicant. So suppose that I'm just disabling here create. Do you think this user will be able to create a database?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. So if your super user or admin of your website do something like this, and if I will use this Drupal user to connect to the data server, and if this from this user I'll try to create a database, do you think my database creation will work?
No, sir.
No. Similarly, root will not be always a user in your database or on your server. For a database, it can be possible that there will be multiple users on your server, right? And while creating a user, we provide different permissions like this. Permissions like this comes when we create a user. But if we are removing create user permission, then will that user, if you're connecting to the server using that user credential and try to create database MyDB, will it work or not work?
Not works.
Not works. So clear na?
Yes, sir.
So this is the privileged thing I'm talking about. So right now you are using root. So root have all the permissions by default. That is the super user of your server, MySQL server. That's why that user can create the database. Now see how to create the database. So here I am creating a file, create database.php, right? Clear, guys? So first thing what I need before creating the database, what I need? Connection to the server, na?
Connection. Yes, sir.
So connection to the server, if I'm using object oriented, I have to use this one, na? So do you think I have to keep writing this one? Or let me connection is done. $SQL is equal to create database. This is the SQL query, create database. What the database name is? MyDB, right? Let me check if that DB is existing or not. MyDB is not there, right? So this is the SQL query I am creating now. This is the SQL query for created database.
Yes.
So I have to execute this query on the server. My connection is there, so I have to execute. So I'll use this connection object, and what I have to do, if $con, thereafter I have to write query, right? And query, what I have to pass? This query. Okay, guys? What I did? Connection, calling function. What function of query? Function of connection, query,
Query.
and then using passing this parameter, what is the query I want to execute, and if you run,
Yes.
it will return true or false. If it will return true, what it means? My query is successfully executed. If, see, once this will run, either it will return true or false. False will run when you are not able to create the database, maybe due to some permission reason. Permission for this user, right?
Yes.
So in that case, if permission error, then you will receive true or false from here.
False.
False. Then this will not match and my database will not be created.
Yes.
Echo MyDB database successfully created, else what? I should show some error. Database not created, and for this error $con we can use one this properties of this connection object, which is error. What is the error? Whatever error will come, it will be displayed here. Now, once I did my work, what should I do? What should I do?
Close the
Close the connection.
Close the connection. Let us see. Create database. Create database. What I'm saying, my one was that connection was successfully and my database DB successfully created.
Yes. Yes.
So if you see, my DB is created, not created. Let me refresh this. Created na?
Yes.
yes.
So my
Yes,
database
sir.
created in this server. So this is how I can, if some query is there, I will call this method and pass the query, whatever the query I'm writing, right? Clear, guys? So through your PHP, what you did? What you did?
Created a database after establishing.
Created the database. So nice. So this was
Yes.
repeated. I have to do many database operation. Do you think everywhere I should write this one? What is the alternate?
Maybe, sir.
What is the alternate?
Multiple.
Sorry?
Sir, include.
POD.
Include. Great, man. Great. So should I use include or require?
It's a require.
I think require will be good. And from
Yes, sir.
require, I should use require or require once.
Require once.
Good?
Require once.
Good. So instead of keep writing this, I can write here require once. Which file? What was the for my object oriented? This one, na? DB. I have already connection established here, na? DB. What is the name? Con. Right? So let us see if same thing working or not. Either not working, then can't create database. MyDB data exist. It makes sense.
Yes, sir.
MyDB database not created. MyDB database not created. And what message is throwing? What message throwing from here?
Database already exists.
Yes, that's why it's not created, because it's already there.
Yes.
So this was, and here I'm getting connected success. So do I need now to always show this message connected successfully? Should I have to display?
sir.
I think we said we should just remove this one, right? Only connection failed is okay, na? Okay, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I was displaying message successfully because I have nothing to do. Now I have to do something. Failed or either, what will happen? This will work, na? Either the connection will be failed or this will be processed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what we did, we are able to successfully create database in our MySQL server. Right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if I rename this, how I did? Through object oriented approach, right? If I do same thing, create database let procedural way how it does. For your practice, you do not need to do all the practice from the beginner. You have to just follow this object oriented one, right? The just thing we did now, what we did, this one.
Yes, sir.
So you can practice for now this one only, object oriented MySQLi. If some of you are little advanced and you are very much clear about working, very handy with working with this MySQLi, you can try PDU also. But I am going to demonstrate how this will work in procedural. My connection will be same, right? So if you see, this was the connection now. So I have to include this file. I'm not going to tell you that you have to do a part, you have to create only one database, you have to do all three way. I am, as a tutor, I am giving you guidance that the same thing can be happen in procedural way, object oriented way, or PDO. But if you are learning first time, you can take the approach of object oriented programming approach, right? Clear, guys?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So I am following object oriented procedural now. Which file I have to include?
dbcon procedural.
Yes, db con hyphen pro dot php, right? And then what is the syntax? Same, create database. This one, I need to do this one, na? This is my requirement. I need to create a database through procedural way. So what is the command function? MySQLi query. If MySQLi underscore query, and we pass the connection here on, and with this connection we also pass the query. So this will return true or false. Echo what? Database created successfully. Database created successfully. Else echo database creation failed, and error is MySQLi error. If you have to show the error, MySQLi error, then you have to pass the parameter connection. You see what is the difference between this and this? Here I am object oriented one, I have object and calling method query, right? And here I am directly using one method, MySQL query, passing the connection string and the query I have to execute. If this will return true, it means database created successfully or not. So what this would return? Created successfully or it will fail if I run this again?
It will fail, sir, because database MyDB is already exist.
Okay, now I did your DB. Now what will happen?
It will create successfully.
New
Great.
databases.
Yeah, so let us first we try to create that MyDB Pro. What it's saying, create database Pro, create database pro.php, connection refused. Why? DB Pro, because I had changed here na port, given wrong port, and also I do not need this message na. Database creation failed. Can't create database, MyDB database exists, right?
Yes, sir.
From where that error is coming? This one? Right?
Sir.
So you are going to see many types of such scenario that somewhere some project PDO use, some project, if you are going, it's not like that you have to start a project from scratch. You have to work on a project which is already going on your organization, right? So you will already go and see, oh my god, they have used procedural, then I have to follow all the procedural methods. They are using PDO, then I have to use the PDO way of doing all the things. They are using object oriented MySQLi, I have to do all the things in the MySQL way, object oriented. Clear? Clear, guys? Not clear. Why not clear?
Sir, what is this if condition is doing? Please explain one more time.
One second. video.php. Which one if? This if?
Yes, sir.
This if, first of all, you're doing
No,
this.
no, sir, not this if. Procedural one.
This one?
Yes, sir.
This is also returning true or false. If this query executed successfully, it will return true or false.
So here is the handler is helping to execute that SQL query.
Yeah, handler is both way. Either in, you see, from the handler I'm calling a method, I'm within that passing this parameter, right? Of query.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here, I have MySQL query by default in my PHP. I'm not creating any object, right? The MySQL query by default available, right? Globally, inbuilt function. What parameter needed here? Connection. That connection where the connection we have created. This one, right?
Yes, sir.
This is the connection, na?
Yes, sir.
So what we needed, this connection and query, both parameter needed here in procedural.
Okay, sir.
Clear? Now
Yes, sir. Clear.
let us see how same thing works in the PDO case. See, till now from here to here are same, na? PDO exception till now. So here is little different. I am connecting here, I am connecting here, right? So little here story will be changed. My information is here, then I am setting here, and also catch is here. So I have to include this. So what is the thing I can reuse from there? The thing we can include is this is the PDO. I'm just going to copy, right? We have defined this one, right? So after defining, I am creating here whatever task I have to do. What task I needed to do? Create the database. This one, na? I need to do this one, right? I need this one, na? Create database.
Yes, sir.
But a PDO way, right? So then there is simple here is con exec $con. What is the command function method? Exec. What I have to execute? This one, right? Exec. So database created successfully. But if any error comes, I can print this message and what of the query this is the query I'm sending, and what is the error coming, it will show. The reason is that I also need to connect and I'm trying to do something. So see here, if I use PDO, connection refused. Why? This is because I have changed this port now. My port is not this. My port is this one. Oh, sorry, I'm not using this now. Here I have to change 18889. What error you are getting? Can't create.
Database already exists.
So in the little, if you're using include, then it's good to use like this. In my video, suppose this is the only thing, my connection, this is the connection info, right? And here what I can use, instead of writing the information everywhere, I can write require once what db con pdo.php. So whatever I can include which is repeated on every page, I can include here, right? So let us try this one, if you can include this one also or not. So suppose I am here getting here PDO con string dot php, right? Let it be here only. Right? And let not needed this one. Here my this is the information only. I'm not connecting or not doing anything. Right? Now this is my PDO. So instead of require here, I'm writing here. Let us see if this will work here. Working? Working?
Yes, sir.
So guys, what I did here. What I did here, as this information is needed for PDO correction, I have put it where a separate file. Now whenever I have to use this, I'll include, right? And I can work now.
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So the database creation with object-oriented approach, we have this cone from this connection file, then what we are calling a method query, and passing the query you want to run. In procedural, there is a MySQL query method, global method. You have to pass connection string and as well as query. In the case of PDO, what is the method? Exec, right?
Yes, sir.
And in PDO, how we are getting this cone? Through this connection. Clear?
Yes, sir.